else is still in front. It's a Done Deal is closing in with every stride, and then Sacred Falls. But on the outside, It's a Done Deal has run to the front. Sacred Falls is coming after him. He's coming fast, but It's a Done Deal is hanging on grimly. He peaks when it counts. It's a Done Deal beats Sacred Falls and Carlton House.
He's a star racehorse and now becoming a star stallion as well. He sold very well on the Gold Coast at the Magic Millions. Done Deal standing at Arrowfield, and of course trained here in New Zealand by Murray Baker and Andrew Forsman. Welcome back to Kiwi Bred and the second segment of our Road to Karaka preview. And joining us at this point, we welcome in Windsor Park studmaster Rodney Schick. Rodney, has things ahead of the sales?
Yeah, building up really well. Pretty excited about getting up there now. The horses are all there now, so yeah, pretty excited. Okay,
and also joining us for the second segment as well is my Kiwi Bred co-host back from Hong Kong. Back to have you on the show again, Emily, and of course Done Deal. You were part of that footage. You're strappy. What are your favourites?
Absolutely, it brings back a few memories for me, Aidan. It's great to see his progeny at the Karaka Premier Yearling Sales. 9 in that, and very, very exciting for me. Certainly is.
Yeah, and he's one of a really strong string of first season sides we've got at Karaka this year.
He absolutely is. I mean, Done Deal at the Magic Millions was so well received. It was an average of 272,500. That's 11 times your service fee you're getting back. 91% clearance rate, top lot of 900,000. Looking elsewhere out of those first season sides, you've got the likes of Camelot, you've got Seamus Award, Fiorente. There's so much depth in that catalogue with regards to first season size and of a whole different host of horses. So that's something that we've really got to look forward to.
We want to put the spotlight on a few of these because we've seen a few of these Done Deals, especially out at a few of the parades, and some of them are really striking. We have a look at the Done Deal Miravea filly here at Lyndhurst Stud, and he's just gorgeous, isn't he?
Yeah,
she.
Yeah,
she.
It's I think what he's really showing is his athleticism. That's coming across in all of his progeny, and they're definitely being stamped. They've got the trademark sort of white feet and the white face, and if you noticed on that one at the Magic Millions that made the 900,000, it had that grey through its tail as well. So they're all coming through there. He was obviously well known that he was on a little bit of a smaller side, but through his progeny, they're not actually small. They're of good size. So that's another, and the one you can see there on screen, the lot 148. That's another really good example of a colt by Done Deal, and I think it's very typical of him. The walk, the athleticism that he had himself, the action, that's really coming through in his progeny.
So you're seeing what those traits that you knew so well in his progeny?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's really exciting. We also went to Hanui, of course, and I didn't have a really huge opinion on Furlax. I didn't know a lot about him, but I was really, really impressed by this colt that we saw there out of Gondola's Girl. I thought really super tight, plenty of size and scope, and obviously really unfortunate circumstances coming out about him.
Yeah, unfortunately, Furlax dying last week, which is a real shame. We take you to Valachi Downs now and have a look at this Camelot out of Theatre Buff, which you've picked out for us, Emily.
Yeah, I really like this type. Camelot, a son of Monju, as is Tavistock. Quite unusual European horse, with him obviously being a champion 2-year-old, and then a classic winner at 3 from the 1600 metres right up to the 2400 metres.
And this Fiorente filly out of Asima, great to see the Fiorentes here.
Yeah, it was a bit of a roughie. I threw this one in. I just think you can't underrate Fiorente. He won at stakes level, again, from the mile to the 2400 metres. They will take time, but Monsun, he is an incredibly sort of dominant stallion over in Europe, and I think, you know, you've got to respect that. You're getting the chance to breed to a great German stallion like
exactly,
him.
And we're seeing the impact that Shocking as a Melbourne Cup winner is having at stud here in New Zealand. Fiorente, a Melbourne Cup winner as well. So there was a stigma about having a Melbourne Cup winner at stud, but it seems to be starting to wear off a little bit.
I think exactly. You've got to sort of remember that he was a stakes winner at the mile as well, and right up to the 3200 metres. So definitely look past the Melbourne Cup factor with Fiorente. I've seen him in the flesh myself. He is an outstanding individual. He's big, he's burly, he's got a lot of presence about him.
The stallion that's probably got the most, well, he definitely has the most yearlings in the sales. 19 of them is Sham Express, who stands at Windsor Park Stud. Great to see him so well represented in the sale, Rodney.
Yeah, look, it's great to have that number in the sale, and you know, he's left a very dominant type, so I think they should sell sell really well. He had a couple at the Gold Coast that went really well, 300,000 and 120. So really good.
We've seen him paraded here on Kiwi Bred. Just tell us a little bit about him physically.
Oh, he's a really interesting character. He's a lot like his father O'Reilly, but his grandsire Volksred and great grandsire Grosvenor really come through. So.
Yeah, and we're talking that pedigree because the O'Reilly factor about him, the Volksred factor. Hasn't Volksred been a fantastic broodmare sire? Oh,
he's been a great success at stud and as a broodmare sire. So no.
Yeah, okay, let's maybe just look through a few of the yearlings that we do have by Sham Express. We've been out and filmed a few of them. First one, of course, is the really striking, the white, the Opera House, who's the mare who sold so well last year with the yearling, I think going for, what, about $500,000 to Japan?
Yeah, 460,000.
Yeah.
This colt's a fantastic type, a fair bit stronger than the filly last year. Very dominant in terms of his sire. He's strong and well made.
Could he be a stallion prospect and then eventually end up leaving White Stallion?
Yeah, certainly. His mother's a 3/4 to Might and Power, one of Australia's great racehorses, and he's certainly got the physique and pedigree to do it.
This is obviously because he's white. He's got that, but he's a lot of really nice characteristics in this horse as well.
Yeah, he's a great mover and a strong type.
Let's move on to the Lady Kipling colt. Can you tell us a little bit about him, Rod?
Yeah, he's very strong out of a very good race mare by Zavabeel, so he's got a lovely pedigree. His mother was a very good racehorse. Once again, moves really well and quite like the sire. And
you rode Mum too, didn't you, Emily, in track work?
I did, yeah. She was a great mare. She's plenty of size and scope about her, and you can see that coming through in that progeny.
Yeah, the Sham Expresses we looked at when filming this day, they're terrific. This one out of Fairy Tipsy, the colt, and Half to Distill, who was a Group 1 winner, Rodney.
Yes, Half to Distill, and he's a really strong type. He's probably thrown to the grandsire and Success Express a bit with the colour, but once again, really strong.
We're seeing with the quality of mares, this one out of Polish Princess, that you really are giving Sham Express a great opportunity.
You look, when you buy these stallions, you've got to put a lot of investment into them, so you've got to breed them to your best mares to give them the opportunity. This colt's certainly got a stallion pedigree. He's a big, strong, physical type.
Okay, we also went to Trelawney Stud, and here's the Half to Spieth, Sham Express out of Stella Livia, and Emily, I was just taken by this boy, and you can see from the pictures, he's a cracker.
I think he's, Rodney, you'd know yourself, but typical of that Sham Express. He's got scope, but he's still so powerfully built, and that's a factor that's coming through with all of them that I've seen. He, like the sire himself, he's a really, really impressive, eye-catching horse.
Yeah, he is, and his pedigree's just going to get better, I'd say, with Spieth going on.
Yeah, for sure. So on the whole, you must be happy with the representation of Sham Express.
We're really excited. As I say, you've seen those horses there. They're a really good line, and I think people are going to be happy coming there and buying them.
Yeah, they sure will.
Also quite well received at the Magic Millions sale. You had a few over there as well?
Yeah, just 2 fillies, 300,000 and 120, so they were, we're really happy the way he started.
Okay, let's move on, Rodney, to some of the others in your draft that aren't by Sham Express. The first one I want to have a look at here is the Rip Van Winkle filly out of Carmen Gear, and of course related to Rip into Gear, whose eulogy performance sort of enhances the pedigree. Yeah, her full sister ran second in the eulogy, which is fantastic. Look, Rip's done a great job at studies, had 5 group winners in his first crop, and she's a fantastic filly, walks beautifully, and she's very much in the mould of her full sister. Yeah, lovely striking horses we saw here. Of the entire draft, how many are you taking up to Karaka this year? 64 in the 2 sessions. Yeah, and Premier? 34 or 35. 34. Okay, here's another one from Premier, the So You Think colt out of Astounded, and of course So You Think from the farm, Astounded from the farm. It's real Windsor Park. It's a really special to have a So You Think in the draft. Obviously he came off the farm. He's done a great job at studs so far. I think he's had a Group 1 winner already, winning the Guineas, 1,000 Guineas, and a couple other stakes winners. So for a horse that probably is going to leave Horse Gate over time, he's done a great job. Okay, yeah, and of course the last one we're going to show you is another ex-Windsor Park stallion in High Chaparral. Hasn't he done an amazing job? Yeah, he has. He did a great job for us. We only had him for 4 seasons at stud, but he really has. I mean, this is the first foal of this mare, and you can see he's a fantastic type, bred on the same cross as Shootout, being out of a Pentire mare.
and he's just he's a real cracker.
And this one, a grandson of Honour Bound as well, so the pedigree's there as well, isn't it, Emily?
He was one of my favourites this one. I think sometimes you can get the bigger High Chaparrals that he's athletic and a really good type. He certainly caught my eye, but obviously I'm a little bit biased, so I have to keep that in mind.
Rodney, of the Windsor Park stud draft, is there anything that really stands out for you?
Oh look, the Polish Princess colt's probably, he's got that stallion pedigree and he's a really physical type, so I think he's going to be a really sought after colt.
Yeah, sure will. Best of luck for the Windsor Park stud sale coming up. Emily, you'll be back with us for the last segment of the sale, so stay with us here on Kiwi Bred. We take you to the break with David Ellis's thoughts leading into this year's sale.
Well, I bought a lot of good horses that have been small, medium size and big. And I think one of the best horses in the history of the thoroughbred, certainly as a stallion, was Northern Dancer, and he'd have struggled to have been 15 hands. So I don't think the actual size is too important, but I like to see an athlete that shows me that he's got a good attitude, a good honest eye. I like to see a horse that I can walk around our stable and be really proud to be involved in. And I really like athletes. And when I saw Hall of Fame, he was passed in at the sale, and we don't bid till horses are on the market. And I went straight up after and had another look at him straight after the sale, and I could see what a real athlete he was. And he just had a lovely presence about him. And Jamie said, "You've just got to buy this colt to help my career." And we bought him, and we're really happy we did too, because he's a pretty exciting colt.
What about your inspection process? You go with a particular team, and how does it all come together?
Well, it's something, the more homework you do, the more time you spend looking at the horses, the less stress you're under at sale time, and the more accurate you get for the sales. So I like to put a lot of time in. We've been looking at these horses for quite some time now, and I like to do it with Joe Wools and Jamie. Joe, because he knows every pedigree in New Zealand. He knows the good ones and ones that probably haven't performed as well as they could, and he's probably as good a judge of a yearling as I've met. And I like doing it with Jamie because he's so keen, and he's developing an unbelievably good eye for a horse for a young person too.
Are there other physical features that you look for particularly in a horse?
Yeah, I'm not negotiable on one thing. I like a really nice deep girth, because I think that's where the lungs, where the heart is, and it's also a sign to me that a horse is a pretty good doer, that it's a good eater. And so I like horses with a nice deep girth, and I think the hindquarters, that's where the engine room is. I think that's pretty important to have a bit of strength, and I like good distance between the hip and the hock. But it's a whole package and quite difficult to explain. It's a bit like you've been appointed the judge of Miss New Zealand and going along, and you'd probably pick a different one to me.